In this video, let us understand the characteristics of an ideal op-amp. Ideal op-amp has open loop voltage gain infinite. So for ideal op-amp, the open loop voltage gain is infinity. Open loop is nothing but a configuration where there is no feedback voltage from the output is applied to the input side. There is no feedback signal applied to the input side. For ideal op-amp, the open loop voltage gain is infinite. And the next parameter is, for ideal op-amp, the input impedance is infinite. For ideal op-amp, the output impedance is 0. Ideal op-amp has infinite bandwidth. The bandwidth is infinite. For ideal op-amp, the common mode rejection ratio, that is CMRR, is infinite. Ideal op-amp has infinite slew rate. Ideal op-amp has zero noise contribution. That means there is no noise contribution from the ideal op-amp. And the last parameter is, the DC input offset voltage for ideal op-amp is 0. These are all some of the parameters for ideal op-amp. Now let us discuss all the parameters in detail. Ideal op-amp has infinite open loop voltage gain. Open loop configuration is nothing but it is a configuration where there is no feedback signal from output side to the input side. We know that op-amp amplifies the difference between two input voltages, the voltage applied between inverting terminal and non-inverting terminal. As the gain is infinity for open loop operational amplifier, it produces infinite amount of output voltage even there is a small amount of input voltage applied to the input terminals. The next parameter is, ideal op-amp has infinite input impedance. Ideal op-amp has infinite input impedance. Because of this, ideal op-amp does not draw any current from the input source connected to the op-amp. Op-amp does not draw any current from the input source. Hence, the op-amp has no loading on the input signal source. The next parameter of ideal op-amp is, ideal op-amp has zero output impedance. Because of this, ideal op-amp is able to drive infinite number of devices without any voltage drop, and op-amp does not load the subsequent circuits. Ideal op-amp has infinite bandwidth. Because of this, ideal op-amp can amplify signals of any frequency without any attenuation or phase shift. That means ideal op-amp can amplify both DC signal and AC signal. DC signal has no frequency. The frequency of DC signal is 0 Hz. And it can amplify AC signal of any frequency up to infinity Hz. Ideal op-amp has infinite bandwidth. Hence, it is able to amplify DC signal and AC signal of any frequency equally well. The next parameter is, the common mode rejection ratio is infinity for ideal op-amp. Therefore, it rejects the noise voltage. The output for common mode noise voltage is 0. The next parameter is slew rate. Ideal op-amp has infinite slew rate. Slew rate defines how fast the op-amp responds to the changing input signal. Since the ideal op-amp has infinite slew rate, The output voltage of the op amp changes simultaneously with change in input voltages. Ideal op amp has zero noise contribution. That means the ideal op amp does not add any noise to the signal. Therefore, the output signal is a faithful reproduction of the input signal. And the last parameter is ideal op amp has zero DC offset voltage. That means an ideal op amp does not produce any output voltage when the input voltage is 0. But there are situations where the output may not be 0 even when the input voltage is 0. In such cases, we have to make output voltage 0 by applying external voltage, and that voltage is called offset voltage. Ideally, there is no need for making the output voltage 0 because it does not produce any output voltage when there is no input voltage applied to the inputs. Thank you.